Hey guys, your favorite pontiff is in the studio. Hey guys, I'm here broadcasting live. And congratulations guys, this is the Pontiff's Television. Now guys, I think I gotta be careful on the booze because I've put on weight. Yep, I'm only going to drink the booze on this Friday night and Saturday night, so I want to say a very special thank you. This is to NATO for the monkey's shoulder. And I also want to say a very special thank you to two people. Jeremy Mears, he bought me a bottle of this Dalwhinnie. And also Rourke Malcolm also bought me a bottle of this Dalwhinnie. Beautiful, beautiful scotches. Guys, today I am drinking coffee with no sugar. No sugar there, guys. I gotta tell you guys, I am actually ending the tapeworm trials. I've been very ill. I've been vomiting. I've had diarrhea. I haven't actually been vomiting, sorry. I would have filmed that for the channel. I owe the live stream of vomit. I've had diarrhea. I eat something, I have diarrhea. The worms don't like what I'm eating. It just goes diarrhea. So I got to get rid of them. A very serious course of antibiotics, and they're gone. Now, guys, I'm doing a quick wist watch. Check, what am I wearing today? J.J. LeCoultre. Jaeger LeCoultre. Reverso Grande. Wanted to try something new there. That's exactly there. So I just gotta tell you, man, this is the TV, this is the channel. I'm trying to negotiate with a Swedish guy to buy a platinum travel time, except, look, I agreed I would sell. Okay, so basically what I said to him, look, I would sell my 5127. I might have to sell it a bit cheaper. I'm thinking about selling it for 23 Aussie. 23 Aussie. It's got an extract. Sell it for 23 Aussie, and I'd buy his travel time. The travel time would set me back quite a bit. He's selling it quite expensive, but he's going to give me some credit. But we agreed the initial payment because I'm going to sell the 5127. Then we said 1,500 euros a month. I said, man, that's too high. I've got to make it 1,000 euro a month. Otherwise, I'm going to be stretched. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's kind of what's. Yeah, sometimes, you know, a deal comes along, I really, really want it, but I don't want to overcommit. Don't want to overcommit. Yeah, so, I don't understand that joke, Eric Bell. What ailment do bats fear most? Diarrhea? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why not buy a Rolex GMT? You flushed those tapeworms with monkey shoulder. That's why you're not losing more weight. Ha 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 ha. Tank Williams III. Thank God, Tank. $2. Thank you, Tank. Thank you. And Jeb. Jeb's donated $1. $1. $1. $1. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I gotta tell you guys, I'm doing the exercise, I'm doing this, doing that. It's easy to put the weight back on, believe me, guys. It ain't easy. It ain't easy, but we're trying our best. We are trying our best. I have thrown away the fat man clothes. That's the way you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. So, yeah. So that's all I can say, man. That is it. That's it. What else can I tell you guys? It's pretty damn tough. Pretty damn tough in this world. Yeah. So guys, come on. Watches and giggles, $2. Thoughts on the Omega Man on the moon, brown dial sapphire. Very interesting a question. I gotta tell you, this is the Speedmaster brown dial. I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm not sure I can really do this stuff. I think they're really cashing in. They're really cashing in on this genre here, man. I think it's kind of fake, isn't it? You know? I gotta tell you, man, this brown dial craze. Yeah, okay, I kind of get it. I kind of get it, yeah. I kind of get it. I understand, man. Brown dial. Yeah, it's kind of boring what they're trying to do here, you know. Let's share the screen. Let's get this baby up on the screen. Let's share it, baby. Let's share the love. Let's share the love. The other thing, Huber Armour, $1. Thank you, thank you. And Man Against the Machine, $5. Rolex Oyster Perpetual, 39mm, dark rhodium dial. Does the Oyster Perpetual have too much of a poor man's Rolex stigma? I personally like it. Very good question. No, I don't think so. I think the Rolex, it's a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, 39. And I kind of like him. I like him. Poor man's stigma. No, it's a very honest watch. No date. It's got a charm to it that the sports watches... See, people are going crazy for this sports stuff. Subs, GMTs, Explorers, Milgauss, Air King. Whereas you hark back to the very basics, it's the Oyster Perpetual. This is the most true to form Rolex of all time. This is it. This is it. So I'd say, is it too poor? No, I think it's the fundamental. I like it. I actually think an Oyster Perpetual. I've swung back. I swung back because I was so sports. Sports is overpriced now. I think this could be a sleeper. James Kahn 2, $2. Picture of Gazelle Maxwell over right shoulder. Yeah, no, that was a paid thing I did. This guy was in love with this woman, and he sent me this thing. He announced his love for her. I don't think it lasted. You know, I don't think it lasted. It's a bit like my love life. It didn't last. Ended badly. They always hate your guts. They hate your guts, guys. They hate your guts. And I gotta be totally honest with you, you know. I think it's cheaper by the hour. Much cheaper by the hour. Let me say that much. Yankee Doodle, $2. European watch has a JLC Aston Martin. Thoughts? European watch company, I gotta be totally honest with you there. They have beautiful stock. They have some really beautiful stock. This is the Aston Martin. Yes, okay, there we go. We can see it. Yeah, their prices tend to be on the high side. They're a very good dealer, don't get me wrong. They are a top-notch dealer. But there's no real bargains with these guys, okay? He's a bit of an asshole. I approached him years ago to try and get some sponsorship. Wouldn't throw me a brass razoo. Real, you know, very tough assholes to deal with. But In the same token, yeah, I'll give it a squirt. I'd give it I think it's the Aston Martin. Is it? I think it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Look at it. It's gorgeous. And what a great tie-in for Jaeger LeCoultre to have. Okie dokie, here we go. Cook K, $6. Thank you, Cook K. I tell you what, they always have some interesting Patek Philippe's European watch. Ooh, he's got a 5139. Look at this, 5170 Tiffany dial. Oh, I wouldn't pay for the Tiffany. Nice. Ooh, vintage Patek. 3970, 100,000. That's probably the money. 40. Look, this is what I'd like. 47,000 for a 5170. Look at that, beautiful. He's got some nice. He's always got nice stuff. He's a little bit on the high side, but you know he's a well-respected dealer. You're not paying retail. That's just the yeah. Actually his prices are reasonable. I wouldn't say they're ridiculous. He's actually quite reasonable. He's reasonable. He's got a nice selection of Patek Philippe. I love my Patek Philippe's. I love Patek Philippe's. Yeah, I love Pateks. He's got some amazing stuff. Look at this stuff. My God. He's got a 5127. $20,000. Beautiful. That's nice. He's got some nice stuff. Very, very. A rose gold travel time. Look at that. That's the ladies, I think. Is that the ladies? Is that the ladies? 37. Yeah, that's the ladies one. That's the ladies. Oh, he's got a 6,006. 27,000. Yeah. He's got a platinum 25.9. Actually, I just want to check that. 25.9. $25.9. What's that? That's US. I'm just checking. What's this in euros? You're getting absolute 22,000 euros, man. Yeah. You're getting absolute top price. I just want to send this to absolute top price. I'm just sending something to somebody. You know, it's kind of funny. A lot of these beautiful watches. Here we go. Matt Porter, $5. Thank you, Matt. Matt, I do depend on these super chats here. These really do keep me going on YouTube. They really do. Simons James, £5, 5-year fan. Back to the comedy, please. Show, please. Watches on the side. Get rid of Clive. He's taking the pisses, you know. I don't know with Clive. You know, I think he's very good value. I think I have a love-hate relationship with that guy. And I gotta be honest with you. He's okay. He's okay. I think that Clive is himself there. I'm just sending an email here. Take a look. I'm paying absolutely top dollar for your watch. This is because you are allowing ABC, man. Get on here. ABC, how are you?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Very quickly, Cook K, $8. Cheers for the review. 20, JU80 yesterday. Explorer 2, 42 mil. It is. Excellent news. How are you going, man?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm just trying to do a deal. You see this Patek here? I've got a guy who approached me, and I was going to pay a little bit more for it because he's giving me credit, but he wanted me to pay high payments. I can't afford high payments, you know?
Well, at times like this, I wouldn't send a watch. You don't want the Stockholm Mafia getting hold of it.
Uh, he's sending it to me. I'm not sending it to him.
Oh, right. Well, then the
Hey,
Brisbane Mafia get hold of it.
we don't have a mafia. Wayne Kerr, $20. Planning to make my first Patek purchase within the next 3 months. Have it down to a few models, 5205, 5235G, and 5396R. Current collection is Rolex Heavy, Batman Bluesy, Black Daytona, Datejust 2. Now, Wayne Kerr, the first question is, you're buying new or used? Are you buying new or used?
5205 is lovely.
They're all
Lovely
the
watch.
5205. Actually, let's just bring this baby up on the screen here. So what's he talking about? He's talking about a Patek 5205. That's the big annual calendar, probably one of the most beautiful watches of all time. I don't know whether you like it in white gold. What did he say? He's saying, he wants to get it in rose, okay?
Rose gold.
White gold, rose gold, doesn't matter. That watch is absolutely amazing. The only thing I'll say is it actually wears pretty big. It's a big, big watch. Just be aware of the size. I know a few people who owned one and then traded out of it because it was too... Oh, pre-owned, Wayne Kerr, pre-owned. Okay, you're going to buy pre-owned. Okay. So my advice to you, Wayne Kerr, is this watch is actually selling for... it's a good watch, but I think it could be a little bit high on the secondary market. My advice to you, the other watch you're looking at is a 5235G. Let's call that up. 5235G.
And the blue dial's the best.
Yeah, now this is an annual calendar, and it's a little bit special because it's a regulator. That's kind of a function. It's to do with how the time is displayed. It's because what it does is it's got just the minute hand, the hour is displayed in other eyes of the watch. I kind of think this is a beautiful... A lot of people don't understand this watch. Okay, that's the problem. They don't understand what the hell it is, okay?
Oh, that's nice.
It is very nice, but a lot of people... I don't know if I'd go for that. I think it could be a little bit... You know what I think the absolute best one is? Out of that list there, the 5396. 5396. What version was he looking at? Was he looking at the R? I reckon the 5396R is winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'll tell you why I say that. Even the standard white with just standard stick indices, that is absolutely killer. Rose gold with the blue dial is just superb. I reckon that is the sweet spot. The reason I say this is, unless you're a Patek expert, you wouldn't know this, but this model is actually very reminiscent of the world's first perpetual calendar automatic.
But their yellow gold is quite red anyway.
That,
got a
I'll just
tinge
show
of
you.
red.
This was the first one. This is the vintage. It was a 3448. So this was the first perpetual calendar automatic.
Yeah, that's nice.
So this watch is, even though it's an annual calendar, it's actually very reminiscent of this watch, which was a, I think, was it 50s it came out? The 50s? Here's Houdinki's got one. It's absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing watch. Amazing is a bit of an understatement here. So I would say myself, Wayne Kerr, get the 5396 because it's soft. The reason it's soft is every wanker is buying they are buying the 5205. So this model is actually soft because it's very conservative. But I think if it was me, I'd be buying. I reckon this is absolutely incredible. So just to give you an idea of time frame, okay, so with Pateks, you've got to understand this. So Patek had the first perpetual calendar wristwatch, came out in 1925, okay. Then what Patek did was they had a chronograph, came out the 1518. Then what happened is, so what Patek did was they very, very cleverly, this is what they did, they then, the 3448 is absolutely, that was the first automatic perpetual calendar, and it was sexy as sin.
They're just too delicate.
It came out, the 3448, actually, I'll just correct myself, it came out in the 60s. It came out in the 60s. It's a 60s thing. I just got to grab this guy. Hey, how are you? Hey, I'm just doing a live show. You're not dead, are you? I'm not dead. I'll ring you back in an hour, half an hour, okay?
I wonder who that is.
Thank you. Sorry, I was just checking on a friend. He hasn't responded for a couple of days, and I just wanted to make sure he was alive. I got to tell you, seriously, so this came out in 1962, ran until 1981. Absolutely amazing. But to confuse things more, they had a 3449, which was produced in 61. So the Patek is all over the shop with their numbering system. But basically, I'd get the 5396 Wayne Kerr. That's an amazing watch. I think it's an annual calendar. It's not a perpetual, but it is absolutely amazing as they go there. Absolutely heirloom piece. Heirloom piece, annual calendar, pull the trigger. By the way, I'm wearing something different today. I'm wearing my Reverso Grand Date.
Yeah, lovely watch. Iconic.
Talk to me, ABC. I wanted to interview you. ABC, I was talking to ABC yesterday on the show, and you brought up some very interesting things. What nationality are you? You're of what Indian descent?
British, British, but yeah, my ethnicity is Indian, Pakistani.
I love that's Indian and Pakistani. Indian and Pakistani, they don't like each other.
Yeah, well, the thing is that they when you had partition, people went over to one side. Some went back, some didn't. But I mean, everything was India before independence anyway. So it's all one region. But yeah, these are artificially imposed borders.
I understand. I'm Ukrainian, right? And you talk to old Ukrainians, they hate the Russians. But when I hate both of them. I think they're both assholes, okay? Ukrainians and Russians, I hate both. And speaking of heirloom, just found out I knocked up the Mrs. Best watch to commemorate my firstborn. Depends on how much money you've got. I tell you what I would do, seriously. I reckon one of the coolest watches you can get, depends on your budget. If you're on limited budget, I reckon an Oyster Perpetual would be great. If you're on a bigger budget, I reckon a Air King, an Explorer 1, no date sub. If you've got unlimited money, get a 5396. That's what I would do. Unlimited money, 539. Depends on your budget. It's all about the money. Now, the interesting thing is, I got to tell you this. So just as a dedication to you, because I do, you know that I am actually wearing, the watch I'm wearing today, I don't know if you know this, it was developed for Indian polo players. The British, they were playing polo there.
Players in India, yeah.
And that's exactly why. That's exactly why the watch was developed. I'll just bring that up on the screen here. So this is what I'm wearing today in celebration of having you on the show. So there we go. There we go. So you can see that's what I'm wearing today. So you're Indian, British. Okay, beautiful. So you were born in England, however. I can tell by that accent.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so professionally, you're an engineer. What are you yourself?
Yeah, I work in telecoms.
Recruitment.
No, I work in telecoms.
Okay, beautiful. Good money
Yeah.
there.
It's okay. Yeah, kind of.
It's okay.
You're having ups and downs, obviously, with COVID. Certain businesses are sort of having to
Now, the
reprioritize,
interesting
rejuggle
thing
their
about yourself
finances.
is
Yep.
your father, he was in the jewelry. So he went to England. When did he come to England? Tell me this. When did he arrive in
19,
England?
1962.
That's interesting. My dad came to Australia in 1960. So let me tell you the story. My grandfather was a Russian soldier. He surrendered to the
Okay.
Germans. He couldn't go back to Russia because they would shoot anyone who surrendered. He went to England on false papers. Okay, my grandfather lied. Then
Very
he was
common.
getting. Sorry?
Very common in those days when you go to
Yeah.
Britain or America, you just lie as to who you are, where you're from.
So then he got worried and he went to Australia in 1960. So that's what happened there. So similar vintage. So your father went to England in 1962. Just between you and me, we take it for granted now, but England was a very racist country then. Believe
Oh,
you me.
well, I know. Well, my father was once sitting on a bus, and there
Okay.
was a little girl next to him with her mother, and obviously she
Yes.
was white, and
Yes.
so she kept staring at him. So my father looked at her back, tried to be pleasant, and smiled. She licked her finger and rubbed it on his hand and looked at her finger as if to
Is that
see
racism?
if
But
that.
is that racism?
No point being
That's
that
just
it's
innocent. That's
something
just
that was
innocence.
something alien to them.
Yes, like a banana after World War II. They'd never seen fruit. Everything was
Something like
canned.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
whenever
was
things are
very
new.
tough. It was very, very hard. So your father, he came to England and then he went into what did he was an engineer originally.
Yeah, as a mechanical engineer, worked in an air conditioning firm.
Okay. Then he decided to get into the jewelry trade firstly.
He was making jewelry in his spare time, and when people were buying his rings,
Yep.
he thought, you know what? This could be my uh, daily gig.
So then
And
well
he
everyone wants to work for themselves.
and he
And
worked for himself ever since.
then he went what made him change into the watch trade? Tell me this.
Just, in those circles, places like Hatton Garden were hubs for jewelry as well as wristwatches. And, I don't know what his first wristwatch was, his first luxury or Swiss
Okay,
timepiece.
just very quickly, Rourke Malcolm. Rourke Malcolm is the guy who got me a bottle of Del Winnie. So the Pluto name was a disguise, or did he switch it back? No, no, he was always Pluto. And I think, actually, to be completely frank with you, I don't know if you noticed this, but I have a lot of dark features, like dark hair, brown eyes. The
Hmm.
Ukrainians are blonde hair, blue eyed people, right?
Yeah, for the
I got a
large
feeling
part.
my ancestors were actually gypsies who came in and sort of impregnated some of the local girls. Okay? But don't tell anyone because
Maybe.
it's a family shame to be gypsies. Okay? But I think some of my ancestors were gypsies who came along and they're like Parasite, that movie called Parasite. They came in, they slept with the women and kind of intertwined. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, a nation of mongrels, as Enoch Powell put it.
Yes, Enoch Powell. Yes, how we love that Enoch Powell guy, hey? And
Well, I think
yes,
he wanted to be Viceroy of India,
yes,
but he never got
yes.
the job. Now, whether that made him bitter or
Bitter.
resentful, I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, funny story.
Here we go. Gun gluten, $5. Have you ever considered calling the Dave Ramsey show? Yes, I have. Tell me how to do it. If you know Dave's people, I will gladly talk to Dave Ramsey. Yes, sir. I love the Dave Ramsey. The baby steps. I'm on baby step 2 at the moment. Baby step 2. Debt snowball. Debt snowball. So tell me this. So, okay, so he started his jewelry business and then he went into watches and he discovered he could make more money selling watches than in jewelry. Is that correct?
No, he did both. He did, both at the
He
same
did both.
time. Yeah,
And
mix and match.
he would have had some amazing watches that he bought very cheap. What were some of the best things you remember? Do you remember some of these things?
I never saw the 8171 until the very end. He told me about it, but we saw, the usual suspects, subs, GMTs,
Any
Explorer
no
1s,
Crown Guard
Explorer
subs,
2s.
5508s?
No, there weren't any vintage subs. There weren't any of
Okay.
those.
And so tell me this. What made him the 8-1? So basically what happened here is that your father himself, he he had a beautiful, one of the most collectible Rolex of all time. It's probably one of the most I don't know how to put it. It's probably one of the I think it's probably the most beautiful Rolex ever made. Okay, can I say that? And
I
it
mean,
was the
it's so
I've
unique.
actually, did you know I've actually photographed one of these? Did you know that? Actually, I was going to I'll
Really?
bring up another photo. I have actually, years ago in a previous life, okay, because I used to do photography
Okay.
for a watch dealer in Bangkok. And let me bring up this for you, okay? Let me bring this up. I used to do photos for him, and one day this came in, and I didn't have any money, okay? I was on the bones of my ass, so to speak, and this came in. Have a look at this.
Oh wow. Yep.
So that's a 817. Now they weren't sure whether this bezel was aftermarket or original. Maybe they do you understand? Because at the time they
Yep.
did actually have a gold dial indices on a steel watch. That was quite common. But
Yep.
was it a true two-tone or not? And it had
Interesting.
the German date disc there. It
That's
was
French.
absolutely
That's
French.
French.
Sorry, is that sorry? I went to Oxley State High, guys. I went to
Yeah,
Oxley State High. The yeah, I'm not okay. That's French, is it?
Dimanche is Sunday.
I have no idea. I went to I went to a state school, secondary modern, you might call it, a low end secondary modern. Okay, so I have no idea what the hell that is. Okay, I have absolutely no idea. Very quickly, Matt Porter, $5. Pontiff, your thoughts on the white dial Oyster Perpetual for 9.8? Uh, what do I think there? I tell you what, he's actually a huge fan. That's Nick Hacko. He's a good guy. Man, my advice to you is he's a good, honest guy. I would buy it. See if you can get a little bit discount. Mention Archie Luxury. He's a great guy. Go for it. He's an honest dealer. Nick Hacko's very respected dealer in Sydney. Very respected. And we've got 73 MAF, £2. 16613. That's a two-tone
Two-tone
Submariner
sub pre-ceramic.
versus a two-tone GMT. I gotta be honest, go sub any day of the week. It's so
I'll
much more
tell you
usable.
what I used to see in these old Rolex catalogs, these kind of Tiger's Eye GMTs, the old root beer.
Yeah, never really appealed to me much, to be honest with you.
Those are
But
unique.
I gotta tell you something, okay? This we're just talking about this very rare. I'm going to show you another photo here. This is the movement of that very watch. That's the movement. That's how
Mm,
it's just
look at that.
beautiful, isn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So tell me this: you discovered this 8-1. What did you ever have any yearning to keep it and say, "My God, can I please have this, brother"?
No, not really, because I never saw my dad wear it or
Who
anything
cares
like
about
that.
your dad? It's a Rolex 8171. My dad used to wear Seiko 5s, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends what you value at that time of your life. I
Material
probably wouldn't wear
goods.
it.
I
I probably
value
wouldn't wear it.
material goods.
Yeah, I don't think I'd wear it.
Why?
I just one, it's probably very fragile. I don't think it can
Fragile.
take. Yeah, delicate. Maybe not as much as a Patek or anything like that, but yeah, I don't think that could take many knocks. I think
Oh,
that's more
come
of
on.
it's
But
more of
it's
an.
just such a
I think that's
beautiful
an
thing, isn't it?
ornament.
You work in an office. You're not a truck driver. You're not loading lorries. You're a white
Yeah.
collar worker in London.
Well, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I don't really. I don't miss it personally.
Your dad used to wear a Technos. That's right, he did. And I started wearing that in grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. And I remember I was running on the pavement and I fell over and scratched the shit out of the bezel. Sorry, not the bezel, the glass. I stuffed the glass up, yes. Look, tell me this. Your dad, so what watches when he died, your father unfortunately died of lung cancer, an absolute tragedy at 67, which is pretty young. 68 or 67, what was it?
68.
68. Did he give you watches before he died? He said, I want you to take these, look after. What did he say to you?
The GMT and an IWC titanium chronograph. He gave me that.
Yeah. You've still got it?
Yeah, I've got that.
And what did he say to you?
Well, I asked him what that watch was, and then he asked me if I liked it, and I said yeah. And then he gave it to me.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Did he
so
have a day
that's
date?
definitely
Did
got.
your dad ever have a day date?
He used to repair a lot of them. I'm not sure if he actually had one or not. He
What?
probably did at some time in his life,
So the
but
8171, what was the story with that? Do you know any background story to that, or what happened?
uh, I think when he bought it, the movement wasn't working.
Oh, that's right. You told me a Chinese watchmaker fixed it for him.
Yeah, he stripped the dial out and everything, and got a Chinese watchmaker to fix it. And yeah, then he got it fixed. It was something he kept very quiet because I think people were kind of hawking around trying to
What age? What
get
what
it
what
off him.
eras is this? 90s, 2000s, noughties?
This
What?
was probably late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, quite a hot watch then. Quite a hot watch. And
All these watches are not nowhere near as hot as they are now, or they were nowhere near as hot as they are now. It's
so,
just
what GMT
crazy.
did you keep? What model GMT?
16710, all black.
Oh, that's a beautiful watch.
I like that watch because it can double up as a sub. Because you can do just a little bit of maths, you can actually do an elapsed minute timer. So it's
Yeah, no,
actually a
I
GMT and
know
a
what you
sub in
mean.
one.
I know what you're saying.
And at first
Um,
glance, someone's not sure what it is. You know what it is, and maybe
oh, it's
somebody
so cool. It's
who's
so cool. I love the GMTs. So tell me this: in your life, um, you said you were working for your dad for a while. You're doing the jewelry business. What were you doing yourself?
yeah, a bit of making jewelry, a bit of external watch repairs, cleaning up bracelets and cases, stuff like that.
Hmm. How old were you when you were doing this?
I was that was about 25, 26.
So tell me this. Now that your dad has gone, you said to me that they were some of the best times of your life you had with him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
We used to go to London, various places in London, various, watch hubs, jewelry hubs, various markets, and you got to know the community as well. It was an amazing time.
what stopped you working for your dad? What made you say, "Hey, I don't want to do this
Yeah,
anymore"?
the trade kind of slowed down and everything was becoming a lot more digital and eBay was slowly becoming the marketplace. And I
Okay.
think the real bargains were at that time in continental Europe, so places like Germany. Those were the places to go where you could really pick up some bargains. But he never traveled much. We never traveled much. So yeah, and then he kind of slowed down, settled down. Then he started doing work on coins, all sorts. I mean, he was doing different things at different times, and it was all what he
Yeah,
enjoyed
he
doing,
was a
which is the
hardworking
life.
guy. He wanted to
That's
help
the
his
life.
family.
That's the life. You're working.
Have you learned any life lessons from him? What can you take away from your dad? If you, I got to be honest with you. I've got an ethnic father myself, right? And I got to be completely honest. As much as I love him, he could be a fucking asshole at times. I love you, Dad. He could be an asshole,
Well,
you
no,
know.
me and my father, we became friends. We were spending what most of the waking hours in each other's company, and I
Was
think
there a time when you weren't close?
no, not
Were you
really.
always
Ever
close
since
with
I
your
was a
dad?
little
Okay.
kid, he was very very loving towards me and my brother.
Wow, that's
Uh,
great.
I think what I'd say is I never took the advice then, but I remember it now. I'd always run watches by him. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of that watch? He'd
What was
say,
his advice in what? Yeah, go on. He would
said
say,
it's a good looking watch, but it's not a good seller.
okay.
If it doesn't sell well, I think the first watch I really had my eye on was a Tag Heuer Kyrium, and he goes, "Yeah, it
Ah,
looks nice, but it's not a good seller." I never really took much notice at the time. I found it quite cheap, but you know,
yeah,
unless
it is what
it's
it.
you don't get your money back or anywhere near your money back unless you hold on to it for about 10 years and you may get a few £100 or dollars back.
So tell me this. You invested heavily into some vintage show parts, which was an absolute disaster.
Oh, they're just a couple. They weren't vintage. They were Mil Milia ones, kind of modern
Yeah, no,
show cards.
I know, I understand because you could get sucked into this whole. Showpad was kind of a very cool brand, you know what I mean? They used to advertise in Octane. Do you read Octane by any chance?
No, no.
It's a car upmarket vintage car magazine. I completely get it.
The,
Um,
the thing about watches and cars, I don't get the connection. Like Breitling for Bentley, AMG for IWCs.
no, I think it's because watches are a very much they're a thing. Men
They're
love
boys'
watches.
toys.
They're
Boys'
boys'
toys.
toys, and we always love cars. You know
Yep.
what I mean? I think they're very interrelated. The funny thing is, as you get richer, people get into aeroplanes. Like I've got some really wealthy fans, so they kind of peter off. They have a few Rolls Royces, a Mercedes, a Ferrari, a Lambo. Then they start saying, "Hey, let's go into planes." Then if they're really wealthy, they'll go into jet aircraft.
Yeah, or boats and yachts and things
Oh,
like that.
boats! You could lose money on boats, believe you. But I think with cars, they're very similar because they give you a feeling of it's kind of like an extension of yourself. Like you go somewhere, people look at who you are and what you are. It's like going with a Savile Row suit. You're taken very differently than if you turned up in jeans and joggers. And
Yeah,
I
and your
got to
watch
tell
is
you,
similar.
The English had a fantastic history of the English had a fantastic history of craftsmanship and quality. unfortunately, England really lost it with unions were far too powerful, and they destroyed it. Whereas they should be remembered for quality. You know, you go to Sheffield, all these places, they were silversmiths, all these trades are
People
gone
generally
now.
blame Margaret Thatcher for it. Privatization of and
Well,
outsourcing, that
okay,
she started all of that.
Margaret Thatcher's not to blame because she basically said you guys have priced yourself out of the market. She said to the coal miners, I haven't stolen your job. You priced yourself out of your job. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a huge Margaret Thatcher fan. I love
She did
Maggie.
she did some good
Did
things,
you
in
know
terms of,
Dennis? Her husband was
yeah.
more of a politician than her. Dennis Thatcher was actually she married him. He was a chemist. She was a chemist. And who became a barrister. She's a very clever woman.
He was the
Uh,
driving force behind her.
he was, but he hated publicity. He was very
Mm.
shy, reserved. 73 math, £2. Please predict 5 Rolex models for September. I reckon they're going to do a few things. The Submariner. We might see something in the Sea Dweller.
Do you think they'll
I,
add any color to the sub?
yeah, I'm hoping they're going to add an Explorer 2 in two-tone. And I want the
Nah,
Jaffa GMT,
it's too
orange and
tool
black. The
watchy.
Jaffa.
Yeah,
Hey, could I just take a 3-minute break? Actually,
go
well, let's
for it.
wrap this show up. I've got to get rid of these tapeworms in my stomach. They're just making me very ill. ABC, it was fantastic to have you on. I really like quizzing you on the watches. And
Always a pleasure.
now, ABC, you've come full circle. Rolex, Rolex, Rolex! It's all Rolex, isn't it now,
It is.
ABC?
Well, actually, my dad told me the Milgauss, the 1019, was the
Oh,
dog.
they
That was
he said,
such a
oh,
dog. But then all of a sudden, like, that's about 25,000
that's
pounds now.
that's very the 1019 is I had a 1016. That was the Explorer one. That was a
Yep,
dog. I
yep,
had a
it
friend in the
was.
trade who got it cheap for me because it still had a sapphire, a plastic glass. Nobody wanted that model. Can you
Yeah,
believe that?
faded GMT bezels with plastic glasses like the 1675. That was so looked down upon, but now that's,
Exactly. So hip. You know what I mean?
yeah, and the more, cracked dials, spider dials, whatever you want to call them.
Oh, they've just gone crazy for that. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. I will see